Hello, fellow podcast fans and Quest for You listeners. Thank you so much for tuning back into Quest for You. It is episode 90. Welcome. So happy that you decided to join. In many of my episodes, I have encouraged you to listen to yourself, to follow your intuition, to go with what feels right, to discover your dream and go for it. You may have wondered, what is she talking about? How do I know which feeling I should trust? How do I discern right from wrong, good from bad? How do I know what's meant for me? What did Goethe mean when he said, "As soon as you trust yourself, you will know how to live"? What did Emerson mean when he said, "Belief consists in accepting the affirmations of the soul, unbelief in denying them"? What did Paulo Coelho in The Alchemist mean when he said, "Intuition is really a sudden immersion of the soul into the universal current of life, where the histories of all people are connected, and we are all able to know everything, because it is all written there"? And what did Shakespeare mean when he said, "It is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves"? And what did Steve Jobs mean when he said, "Don't let the noise of other opinions drown out our own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. Trust, belief, intuition, destiny, inner voice. Everyone calls it by what they experience it as. It can also be called an inner knowing or an inner guidance. Some call it source or your heart's intelligence. And people experience it all the time and all throughout humanity. I gave you quotes from a variety of people from different times in history. People who have reached far and accomplished a lot often talk about the inner voice, the knowing, the passion, and the dream. And today, I want to attempt to help you discern it from all the other thoughts and voices you may have and you may hear. It is not easy because it is very different for every person, but there's some common threads that we can follow. So let's start with Steven Pressfield. Since we followed him all week, let's also end the week with him. He says in The War of Art, "Because when we sit down day after day and keep grinding, something mysterious starts to happen. A process is set into motion by which inevitably and infallibly heaven comes to our aid. Unseen forces enlist in our cause. Serendipity reinforces our purpose." Every one of us had the experience of everything coming together in a way that felt right, harmonious, and whole. Where does it come from? And how can we tap into it more frequently? Every religion has practices that help people orient themselves towards the good. But if you don't follow a religion, what do you do? Some people are spiritual rather than religious. Spirituality and religion are related, but they're different. Religion can be defined as a bridge to spirituality. But the spiritual lies beyond religion. If you ask a spiritual person whether they are religious or not, you'll find that they often meet on common ground. But listening to yourself, tapping into your inner potential and finding your inner guidance doesn't have to be a spiritual or religious exercise. Your spiritual beliefs can facilitate this because they often ask you to reflect on your actions and better yourself. You most likely already have some form of quiet time built into your day, whether it's through prayer or meditation. And your beliefs also help you trust the unknown more. People that don't have such an anchor have to learn and discover it. They have to practice letting go, quieting down, listening, and becoming more aware. Sometimes we are thrown into reflection involuntarily. A sudden illness that radically shifts priorities, a financial reversal that forces us to reorganize our life, or any other disruption to our until now normal lives like death, job loss, divorce, or addictions. The inner journey is set in motion because our supposed knowing is now put into question. And sometimes we do it on our own. We begin to wonder, we question what we know, and we begin to seek a different set of answers. Any of this allows us to see what might be. It lets in light unknown possibilities. And this is what I want to encourage you to do on this quest for you. Life wasn't created as a fixed path. It changes moment by moment. Through our curious and open engagement with life, we can change the course of our trajectory. Instead of swimming on the surface, living every day like the one before, doing what we always do, we can decide to wake up to greater depths and to the mystery of the unknown. You ask, what's involved? You need to trust yourself a bit more. Surrender to what you know and be willing to be patient with yourself. You acknowledge that you are evolving and changing for the better. We are not trying to find some magic tricks to circumvent the difficult parts of our life. We are simply trying to find our purpose, a better way of living, more groundedness, and more stability within ourselves. So here are a few deliberations on how you go about tapping into this inner trust, belief, intuition, or destiny. Your inner voice, your strength and guidance, or whatever you want to call it. Find quiet in your day. Every day. And this is so important. Our world is so noisy, filled with distractions and bright lights, both inside ourselves and the outside world of chatter, busyness, and information overload. Consider this your time for yourself, where you allow yourself to listen to yourself. Not to what others say or do, which happens most of the time, but to yourself. No agenda, no plans, just quiet time. And then become present by cultivating a quiet mind. You can only become more present when you have that quiet reset time in your day. That is the time when your mind is allowed to become quiet as well. Meditation, yoga, and walking in nature are all portals to the present that can cultivate such a quiet mind. A relaxed mind and body create more openness to guidance. You'll become more aware of yourself, more in tune with what you're feeling. Let go of hurry and urgency. Interestingly, this is a nice byproduct of your quiet time. When you introduce stillness and reflection into your day, you'll notice a greater sense of calm throughout the rest of your day. Things that stressed you out before, that scratched your temper and tested your patience, they don't move you so much anymore. And this is great because it takes the rushing and stressing out of the things we face on a daily basis. You become more patient and relaxed. Look for a sense of peace around important events in your day. Take time to think important decisions through instead of hastily agreeing or declining. If you come from a point of peace and calm, but you still notice fear and distress, then this may indicate you are on the wrong track. That is that inner guidance helping you read situations and decisions better. But you cannot get there without having cultivated a quiet mind. Test for love and kindness. I always ask, where's the love in this situation, in this decision? Is it kind? Is it generous? If meeting with a certain person in your life always brings up a feeling of fear, of anxiety, of worry, then this is your inner voice speaking to you, alerting you that you may need to reconsider a few things surrounding this person. And this also pertains to self-love. Sometimes it may be a harsh voice, energizing you to leave that person that doesn't treat you well. But there's love for yourself and respect for your worth in this. It may be self-love in the form of encouragement and inspiration. You can do this. You can handle it. Listen for that voice. Listen for love and kindness throughout your day. And look for inspiration and happiness. Have you ever stood and looked at a sunset that was so amazingly beautiful? When I do, there's a feeling of happiness that spreads inside of me. The world is perfect at that moment. These are valuable moments. Gather more of them and look to find them all throughout your day. Ask frequently, am I happy? It is not about material things, relationships, or anything that's external. The gauge for happiness is whether it arises within you of its own accord. Moments of bliss, I call them. I also feel them when I inspire others. You can do this by giving a compliment to a person or simply helping someone out. It's not that hard. It's just all about overcoming our ego. And lastly, review your conscience. Check in with yourself. I call it self-reflection. The end of the day is a good time to do this. To review your day and examine the choices you made, the words you spoke, and the actions you took. Look for situations where you forced, coerced, and controlled situations and people to get something. Look for tension in your body. When your body feels relaxed and peaceful, there is more receptivity to wisdom. Do you feel free or do you feel caught and constricted? Self-reflection is important because it allows you to correct your course and make amends for mistakes. Maybe even for something bigger to happen. To end, I just want to encourage you. Releasing some of the grip and control on life that we have fought so hard to get can be scary. But if you give it a try, you will realize that it only appears as if you're giving up control. Trusting in a greater compassionate intelligence, your inner intelligence, has the potential to give you a fulfilled life instead of an orchestrated life. Yes, I realize we would rather chart out our own course. It helps manage all our fears. Fears of the unknown, fears of losing control, fears of not getting what we want. But by letting go of our own agenda and waiting patiently for the path to unfold step by step, that demonstrates our ability to trust that a wisdom greater than our own is helping us evolve. I hope this helps you to begin a deeper conversation and connection with yourself. So many answers we seek are within ourselves. The body gives us signals all day long, and it's time that we learn to read them. And hopefully you can see that this is not some mystic practice trying to get you become more spiritual. It's a journey that will lead you to discover your true identity. It will help you find your way to becoming a more skillful, loving human being. And along the way, one that inspires and motivates others. With much love today. Until next time.